Cafero. Forgive the sound. I'm trying to cool the cabin before I start. I want it to be cool enough, then I close the door. Introduces a automatic attach furniture and that's why it's making that bad sound. High chance okay ndera. Motoka zinempya. Sensing a certain temperature tuka wojagala. Reducing a speed of fan. Yeah, so today is the 19th of the month of February 2023. Ekended the young ekended the yeah. Yep, forgive the sound, that's the AC. Oh, why? Atani wa parking ze mabega wange na ava na mbo. Yosebo, ameye baba. Parking ze mabega wange ava na mbo. Parking ngazi. Yeah, so today we are going to be discussing the responsibilities of the various people that will be various people and things. Forgive the sound again as we start to move. Funny and when the AC is engaged, but as it reduces, as the temperature gets to what I want, the fan changes the sound so it's going to reduce. The reason I'm engaging the fan is sagala morok asimu ene ichamuke simu ya Samsung atajimanye morok esimu ya Samsung ichamuka. Yep, so today we're going to be talking about the responsibilities of the various people and things, items that are involved in a transaction when you are going to buy or when you are in the process of buying a car. Tuchariyo Salmin, how are you? Famwe kutute nkulaba, famwe kufulira ddala busy. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about the responsibilities of the various people that are normally involved in a transaction where a car is being sold and bought, so that you don't mistake. We had a misunderstanding, communication mishap, whatever you would call it, the day that one of my people here got the parcel settled, and it prompted me to make sure that I do this broadcast so that we all understand what the responsibility of each and every person that is normally involved in the transaction where a car is either bought or sold, tuleme kuddamu kubeera mistaken, so that the next time I help someone buy a car, there is no misunderstanding ever, because the misunderstanding that happened is something that I thought was common knowledge, but apparently you can't think that something is common knowledge or you have dispensed the knowledge. Yes. Paul Banalia, hi Pascal Joseph, I hope you're doing well. Kafani kakende de dala, thank God. Kata your sound tejaba affecting anyo na yemba den saba. Whatever sound goes through, let us bear. We need this phone to be cool up to the end of the broadcast, and one way for me to keep it cool is by making sure the AC is on all the way. Yeah, so in a transaction, wali okutunda n'okugula emmoroka, there are basically three common people. I'll say four in my case. Three very key people that should never miss in any transaction where you are going to buy a car. But normally, tumanyo kwegeziwaza, and there are normally 3 people. The very first person is the buyer. Hi Martha. Because without a buyer of a car, the transaction will never happen. A seller can exist, but without a buyer, the market is not complete. You know, a market is where buyers and sellers, okay, willing buyers and willing sellers exist. So without a willing buyer, as a seller might exist, kawondo yiyo mujirabye naye ali mu essinganzo wa Corolla. Ebintu ebimu manyisi byakwesooka naye naffe abaazi Corolla tusobola okweyagala. Yeah, so it's important that we understand that without a buyer, the transaction is not complete. Why am I making sure that you understand that? It's because majority of the time, you people as buyers, you tend to think you're not very important in the transaction. And the reason why this happens is because you get emotional when you decide to buy a car. Katinotandika okulowooza nti omuntu akuguza emmotoka akuyamba. Omuntu akuguza emmotoka takuyamba. Naawe tomuyamba, ayina emmotoka ye naawe oyina ssente zo. But of those 2 things, money is more valuable than the car. So you need to understand that you're very, very important in any transaction. Okay? So we have a seller, we have a buyer. The third person that normally exists, whether we like it or not, is a broker. A broker exists in majority of car sales or car buys. And the broker normally is the person that knows where the car is, or the person that knows where the seller is. And I think this is where people have started mistaking me for a broker. Omuntu akuweereza message nakugamba mzee njagalayo ka primo. In this transaction, I'm going to give myself the position of guardian angel. I'm a guardian angel. The only reason I help you get cars is because I'm not going to be a guardian angel in a transaction where someone bamubanga andaba. And majority of people that have bought cars with me have realized if it's tugula moroka mbobanda. And if I were just a guardian angel that is let me do what they have paid me for, kangende muyambe ko tugende mukabondi tulondeyo whatever car is there. Hi Joseph. Then I would just go with you to various bonds ne tulondayo whatever car is good at that time. Okay? Then the 5th person that is normally in the land transaction is a mechanic. Wherever nebo noba togenze na Arthur, make sure you have a mechanic. Mechanic abanga musawo. Betuba na abasawo, it does not mean that when you have a doctor, nothing will go wrong. But at least whatever goes wrong, the mechanic will be like a doctor. They will see it quickly. Okujjako ennaku zino people get sick and it's witchcraft, and even the doctors get confused. Nga bajjanjaba naye nga tebamanyi kye bajjanjaba. Yeah, recently someone I know lost a wife. Basooka ne bajjanjaba mu ddwaliro, they were thinking it's medical. Nga omukyala bamujja n'amazzi mu lubuto. Later on they realized bye bali bajja mu lubuto tegaali mazzi. And that's when they realized that okay, this might not be medical. Ne bafuna sheekh awo n'abasabirako omuntu n'abanga atereera mu n'atandika okutambula. But then the mother of the lady ate n'amukwata n'amutwala mu ssabo. She died from there. The story I'm telling you is real. The lady was in the hospital for a very long time and her stomach was bulging. Ne bamujjanjabako mu ddwaliro ne bajjangamu amazzi mu lubuto, and later they realized that actually bibadde bajja mu lubuto si mazzi. So she didn't have a medical condition. Kuba nabo baali tebamanyi kye bajjanjaba. It's possible that it's an illness that doesn't probably exist in Uganda. But later on when they got a sheikh, najja n'adomba edduwa, omukyala n'abanga atereera. But I think the mother wasn't being patient enough. N'amubba mu ddwaliro sheikh gye yamusanga ng'omusabira n'amutwala mu ssabo. Gye yafiiridde mu ssabo. Now some of these stories, if you have not been part of the story firsthand to see these things happen, so sometimes it happens. That's why probably hospitals have mortuaries and all that. Yeah, anyway, so we have those 5 people. The 6th person that normally is in a car transaction is your friend or your brother, okay, or a family member that you decide to go with you, because majority of the people that come to buy cars with me, they actually come with another person. And that's a very good thing. When you come with that other person, what to buy, it's a very good thing as well. So those are 6 people that are involved in a land transaction. So we are going to start going through what the responsibilities of each of these persons are, so that we don't mistake it. Like I said, I had a tiny misunderstanding on the day we sold the parcel setting, and I will shortly tell you what the misunderstanding was. Kari katono, but it happened because the buyer did not know exactly what the responsibilities of the seller of the car are and what the responsibility of him as a buyer are. So I decided to do this broadcast where I educate all of us. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I should expect the seller to do. This is what I should expect the broker to do. This is what I should expect the mechanic to do. This is what I should expect my friend or brother that I've gone with to do. This is what I should expect the guardian angel or whoever you take to be your guardian angel to do. Okay? I find that it's important that we understand. For starters, I want you to understand one thing, and this is something that I've learned over time. With anything, pay them. Pay them. Pay them. Nebwaba mutowo, nebwaba sengawo, nebwaba tatawo, nebwaba mamawo, pay them. Never engage the services of someone for free. Pay them. If you take anyone in a transaction where you are buying, where you're going to spend money, pay the people you have taken to help you make decisions. Pay them. You don't have to give them millions. You don't have to give them hundreds of thousands, but pay them. Pay them. Even if it's your wife and you go to buy a car, you're going to spend 6 million, you're going to spend 10 million. You take your wife to help you buy a car, to help you make a decision. That's very bad. That's why you'll find that a couple, baberawo, husband and wife, and then omukazi natandika okubba sente ewaka azimbe ennyumba ewaabwe because alaba tomuliiko. And that's a very good thing, because you're not giving them free money. You're paying them for something they have done, for services rendered. I'm repeating it one more time so that it sticks in your mind. If you ever go to buy a car, you ever go to buy land, it doesn't matter what you call the people you have gone with, pay them. But Arthur, I totally see no reason for you to buy a new phone. This phone of yours sometimes has a very clear camera, like today and yesterday the image. No, Emma, the reason I'm buying this phone is to improve the sound. I have a microphone. China microphone here box. That's the only reason I'm buying a new phone. It's because the camera is bad, but I'm buying it because and probably then I can actually do 2 shots at the same time, and I use 2 phones. One phone looking at the road and then one phone facing me. Yeah, so I can probably find software to help me do that as well. So I'm buying another phone strictly for sound purposes, not for not because of the picture. So I'm making it clear, guys. ne bweba motoka, ne bweriba ttaka, ne bweba nnyumba, musasule. Ne bwaba mugandawo, ne bwaba mukyalawo, ne bwaba bbaawo, you're going to spend 5 million, 10 million, probably 2 million, 100,000. This person is using their time, using their experience on you. Pay them. Yonvuddeyo. Toyagala bakubbe. Otegera, or make sure they get paid kale. Probably you can go to buy land. Bw'otuukayo omuntu gw'ogenda ogulako ettaka n'omugana noono naye broker. Ojjamuwaayo akasente. Make sure they get paid. Okay, let's get into the responsibilities of the people that are normally involved or normally engaged in the business of buying and selling cars. Number one, the seller. Without a seller, the market is not complete. In market, remember, we try to define economics or commerce. We say that a market is a collection of willing buyers and willing sellers, right? So if there is no willing seller, the market is not complete. The time when we were buying a Paso Sete, the day we bought the Paso Sete, we made calls, and the only Paso Sete that was in our price range was the Paso Sete we bought. But still it was above our budget by 1 million. That's why initially nalinjiganyi. But bwe twatukanga tugenda kugula Primo UBA $1,210,000 neŋŋamba kakati bwebanga Paso Sete bagituuza $2,100,000 nga musukkamu $9,000 nga the Paso Sete is a UBH 7-seater ate ng'omukazi ajja nyumira nnyo Paso Sete okusinga Primo. Why not show the muzeeyi this Paso Sete tulabe bayinza okwongerako? And indeed muzeeyi bwe yatuna ku Paso Sete omutima mu Primo ne guvaayo. So nakakubira abasawo asking for prescription. Should I pay them? Pay them Kranuma limit, especially the people nga yagenda ku ssomero n'ateekayo obudde n'asoma ekintu n'asasula ne fees abo abantu mubasasule. We are going to make life better for everyone, for us and them. Okitegeera abantu bajja lekerawo obutakwata masimu gaffe because ojja mukubira oyankubira kukumbuza prescription yabwerere nga gwe lunaku buli kiseera ky'obadde okubokola ki omugamba. So if you have a friend or a sister who is a doctor or a nurse and you call them to ask them questions about your illnesses, nakugamba genda ogule kino muweereza omutwalo after like 2 times, buli mirundi 2 gy'omubuuza muweereze yo omutwalo mugamba why baako ky'ogulamu awo oba gulayo ka soda. Pay them. Kale, responsibilities of people involved in a transaction where cars are sold or bought. They give you better advice when paid. Yes, Pascal Joseph, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Responsibilities of the seller. When you're going to buy a car, the person that has a car and is willing to sell it to you, he has a number of responsibilities. The first responsibility is giving you the goods. Now, I want you to understand that the goods they are giving you don't necessarily have to be in good condition. The first responsibility of a person that is selling a car is giving you the car, having the car present. Okay? Portraying a good condition, that's a responsibility of the seller. Omuntu agenda okuguza emmotoka, responsibility gy'alina nja kugyogera Stuart. We actually nze ne mukyala wange tuzzeeyo ku RAV4 Pajero twagivuddeko. I did my research and the Pajero is a no-go. So responsibility eyokubiri eya seller of a car is portraying the car to be in good condition. The seller is not responsible for making sure that the car is in good condition. Don't mistake it. Era omuntu bwali kuguza emmotoka n'ogituukako ng'ambi ng'omaze okugigula, that's not their responsibility. Their responsibility number 1 is to have the car ready for you to buy it. Responsibility number 2 is to portray the car to be in good condition. Portraying the car to be in good condition. Okay? Responsibility number 3 is having paperwork in order. The paperwork doesn't have to be the correct paperwork. I want you to mark my words. Responsibility number 3 of a person that is trying to sell their car is having paperwork in what? In order. Empapuro bazabichupuli oba ntuufu oba they also have their paperwork in order. Nti ndagano kwenagulira yino, kadi y'emmotoka yino, engine number yeyo, chassis number yeyo, buli kimu checking out, that's their responsibility. It's not their responsibility to make sure that the paperwork is the correct paperwork. So don't mistake. Bwe nkugamba nga nti okyasobola okugula emmoloka enzibe nojja n'otunira omusajja ow'olubuto n'ogamba tasobola kunziba, bakulimbye. It's not his responsibility to not rob you of your money. When someone is trying to sell their goods, it's not their responsibility to make sure that the car is in good condition. It's not their responsibility to make sure that the paperwork is correct or the right paperwork. It's not their responsibility to make sure that the car is in good condition. Nedda. Their first responsibility is to make sure that they have the car they said they have. Second responsibility is to portray the car to be in good condition. Aina kulaga nti nnungi. Kyovula abasajja b'omu Buganda booza emmotoka ne booza yingini room n'ebeera ng'enyirira. Okay? The other responsibility is to portray the paperwork to be in order. Nti bw'ojja kugamba kadi yino weeri empapula zivaamu eza transfer. Okitegeera? That's their responsibility. Naye Arthur naye business nzibu mu nsi eno. Kati okinyo owa Primo yaviiramu awo. Bw'aba broker yalina amabanja yali amaze n'okuaba mu banja nti abaleetera ssente oba yali amaze n'okwewola. Kituufu kuba namuwona sente z'amafuta ezimuleeta mu kibuga. Najja mu kibuga n'apaakinga ne walinga mulengera. Nene ngamba muzeyi kamulage ka paso sete yerondereko aleme genda nga akukuuma nti ate tsala ku paso banda gendo yokka. Because mu Primo nali manyi tesola kudamu kulaba naye nga njagala alabe paso sete kuba bwe yakalabanga mukubu nga tuvuga ngo tugenda ku banda. That guy is nice. But that guy is nice. Nengamba naye muzeyi lwaki semulaga ka paso sete. Nempito wa paso naye ne muwamba fika. Okitegeera ne zijjanga zonna weeziri. Muzeyi n'alondako paso nangamba what do you think? Nange nga ndaba the value is the paso sete. Responsibility. The other responsibility of a seller of a car is providing transfer forms. Kati njagala mumanye ekintu kino bw'obonga ogenda okugula emmoloka. Bwe bw'ona ogula emmoloka nga transfer form togenda zifuna nga tajja zikuwa. N'omala okusasula emmoloka n'ogimalayo nga tofunye transfer form. Ebyo bizibu byo. Because okyasobola omala okugula emmoloka nga togifunye transfer form, you have not transferred it. N'ogivuga weeks 3 nannyini emmoloka najja n'agamba baagibba. Because they can even report the car stolen the day you're buying it. They can, no yagiguziza yennyini asobola okureportinga nti emmoloka ye bagibbye. Amala ogiguza n'omuwa ssente n'agenda ku poliisi n'agamba emmoloka bakoze eki? Bagibbye. Ye n'alinda poliisi ng'amanyi. N'abagamba emmoloka bagibbye naye ejja kuva mu bitundu bino na bino na bino kuba oba omugambye gy'obeera. Oba oli mu wiiki ey'okusatu nga poliisi ekusalako emmoloka eno nzibe nga bakuggalira. Nga bakugamba baagibba emmoloka eno ng'erimu ne miliyoni 5. Ng'erimu ne laptop. Owulira bwogera osasula miliyoni 10 anti ate akugamba laptop yalimu simanya 15th generation i7 yalimu RAM 20 GB ng'erimu hard drive 4 tera ng'erimu graphics card bichinga nayo ya miliyoni nga 5 ng'osasula miliyoni 10 ng'ovayo nga n'esente ze wasasula ez'emmoloka zifa. The responsibility of the seller is giving you transfer forms. Nze sigula mmoloka ng'empapula tezivaamu. Sigigula. Era ne omuntu gwe tugenda okugula naye emmoloka ne bw'aba ssente azigyeyo ng'azirina wano. Kasita transfer forms ziba nga tezivaamu tetugisasula. Okay? The other responsibility of a seller is receiving money fully paid or demanding balance if not fully paid. Let me just go through the responsibilities of a seller. Olemenga genda kugula mmoloka ngolowooza omuntu oli omugulako emmoloka omuyamba nnyo. Okitegeera tolina gw'oyamba bw'oba ogula emmoloka weeyamba wekka oba ogisiimye. Responsibilities of the seller of a car. Number 1, giving you the car as promised. Bwakugamba nti ngenda kuguza Ipsam UAM 360T yalina okuba ne UAM 360T, number plate okuba nti ya kichupuli, ye ng'agitaddeko ng'erabika ng'ennamu. That's where his responsibility stops. It's your responsibility to verify the number plate in tufu, to verify the engine number in tufu, to verify the chassis number in tufu. That's not his responsibility. Responsibility number 2 is to portray the car to be in good condition. If it's not in good condition, tebikyamukwatako, ye alina kulaga nti nnungi. Kyovula bamujja genda omuntu emmoloka terina buzibu, terina ye responsibility ye kulaga nti emmoloka nnungi. That's his responsibility. The other responsibility is having paperwork wrong or right. As long as asobola okuconvincing nti paperwork checks out, that's where his responsibility stops. Okay? The other responsibility of a seller is providing you with the transfer forms. Ayina okuwa transfer form, bw'atazikuwa si buzibu bwe, tewazisaba era waddembe okuga tewansaba transfer form, yensonga lwaki saazikuwa, bizibu byo. The other responsibilities of a seller of a car: 1, receiving money and demanding balance if you did not pay full amount. Muziwi the responsibility of seller. That is what the seller of a car is responsible for. Kale tugenze ku the 2 responsibilities, 3 responsibilities of a broker. And trust me, majority of the times when we go to buy cars, there is a broker involved, whether you like it or not. Okay, responsibility number 1 of a broker is knowing where to find the car or where to find a buyer. Ogwe mulimu gwa broker gwokka omukulu. The second responsibility of a broker is closing the deal. Broker aliwo ku making sure nti ogula. Eje emirimu ebiri gye gisinga obukulu: kunoonya agula, kunoonya alina mmoloka, oba ku closing a business, ku making sure nti oba wazene sente toddayo nazo. That's what a broker does. Era kyova olaba bw'ogenda wali mu bibanda by'ennakulaba by'emakindi, babbuloka bakwetooloola nga 10 nga buli omu ayogera bibyo osobole okugula. Okitegeera? The last responsibility of a broker is to disappear. The broker doesn't care about you. Broker kasita omala okusasula nga bamuwa sente ze taddamu na kwogera naawe. Tayinza nakukubira simu kubuuza oba iwaayi watuusa otya. If you did not watch Kaso Yunusu's video, go and watch it. Ajja kunyumiza bali bamuyitaani Swahaba yamuyambako okumubba. N'amulima nti owaayi bajja kubanja ne bwe giba myaka 2. Nze kaka a deal where they steal from you. Musiraamu. Okitegeera? Responsibilities of the broker: 1, finding a buyer or a seller; 2, closing a deal; 3, disappearing. Era broker bw'omala ogula emmoloka aba takumanyi nakumanya, ojja nakudda agambe mpozi wagula wali akugeeta kumanyi. Brokers don't care about you. Era nze neewuunya omuntu agenda nankubira essimu n'aŋŋamba negwe athe emmoloka ezo nga za bbeeyi ku Gigi kuliko eze 3 nga mugamba genda ogula ez'okugigi. Abantu b'okugigi babbi. Ayinza okukwata emmoloka nga miliyoni 2 n'agiteekako 15 akusika osembere, bw'otuukawo n'agamba baakagigula naye kati waliwo eya 2. You get what I'm saying? Because those are brokers. They don't care whether you waste your money, they don't care whether you waste your time, they don't care whether they don't care about you. 3 responsibilities of the broker: to find you who is going to buy, okay? 2, to make sure you buy. 3, to disappear. That's what brokers do. Alo agamba nti nimba gwe responsibility ya broker endala aina 3 zokka. Mwezo broker, mwezo responsibility, he doesn't owe you a thing. He doesn't even owe the buyer a thing. Ontegera kyengamba. The broker doesn't owe anyone anything. Broker anoonya emitwalo gye 10. Bakolerera emitwalo ebiseera ebisinga 10 olumu n'etaano. Bo tebakufaako. Arthur, how important is the sale agreement? Because a friend has just bought a car without it, though she was given transfers. No, we have a transfer form, but agreement is also important. Kati bakuwa transfer form is expiring. you need to get an agreement whenever you buy something. Olaba nettaka eri ekyapa kati ng'ogamba bakuwadde ekyapa, where is the proof that you bought? Oli asobola okujja n'agamba nti wagenda no hacking a tin ye no wejiramu transfer form. The agreement is very important. The agreement is your receipt, by the way, you guys. The agreement is your receipt. The fact that there are people that have bought cars without agreements and transactions were successful doesn't mean that it will work for everyone. Mbwene emalayo. Broker tumumaze. Responsibility of the buyer. Kati mwe abagenda okugula emmotoka. These are your responsibilities. Ndi nno muka esi kyovola basifaayo. Emmotoka ennyogoga bitya simanyi na musana guliwo erunzi. Number one responsibility of you as a buyer of a car is checking the car. This is where you need to go with a mechanic. Okay? This is where you need to go with your friend. This is where you need to go with Arthur if you want, to make sure that whatever this seller or with the broker is telling you checks out. To check the car. Nakugambye the seller of the car aina responsibility emu kwe kumatiza nti emmotoka ye eri in good condition. Aina kumatiza nti emmotoka eri in good condition, helped by a broker bw'osobola okugula. For you to prove that the car is in good condition, as this person says, you actually have to check it yourself. That's your number one responsibility, to check the car and making sure that it's in the condition you need it to be in. Okay? Responsibility number 2 is verifying paperwork. Kakati mu paperwork mulimu number plate, mulimu okukebera logbook, mulimu okukebera that the particulars on the logbook are the same particulars on the car, chassis, engine number, ebyo ebintu byonna amanya g'omuntu ali mu logbook biki okitegeera. Verifying paperwork. Number 3, this is very important, paying for the car. This is where normally I tell you guys temugula mmotoka ku mabanja naddala ng'ogula emmotoka enkadde etali ya bondi. Bw'omala ogula emmotoka omuntu agiguzizza n'afa, what happens? The very last responsibility of you as a buyer is paying for and doing transfer of the car to your names. This is where we got a misunderstanding on the day we bought the parcel setting. Bwe twali tugula eyatuguza emmotoka yatugamba buli kimu nkimaliriza, mumusasule ssente z'emmotoka yange, buli kimu nkimaliriza. The buyers thought we yabagamba buli kimu nkimaliriza, agenda basasulira ne ssente za transfer. Era olw'eggulo nga balina empapula ng'agenda bayambako okusokola transfer, abagamba abaaye transfer tugenda gikolera emitwalo 2 nga bagamba naye yatuguziza tugambe buli kimu akimaliriza. The good thing is the person that bought this car yabadde lawyer, ne mubuuza buli kimu akimaliriza gwe nga lawyer olina we wawulidde ng'agamba nti ne transfer fees agenda zisasula. Nti nedda naye yatugambye buli kimu akimaliriza, n'enkubira eyaguze emmotoka n'enkebera ku ndagaano. I called the person that sold us the car ne mugamba owaayi abaami bano wabagambyeko nti ogenda basasula transfer fees, n'agamba sikinabagambako. Okitegeera? Nange ne mbagamba sikirabangako bukyangambawo n'akavuga emmotoka ezisukka 20. I've never seen the seller of a car paying for transfer. Their responsibility stops at giving you access to transfer forms. That's where their responsibility ends. Era gwe olukwata transfer forms zo ng'ogattako transfer fees, ng'otwala empapula zo ng'osasula mu banka ng'ozizza mu URA. That is your responsibility. That is not the responsibility of a car seller. The car seller responsibility ends at giving you transfer forms. Gwe bw'okwata transfer forms olwo n'ozikwata n'ogenda n'osasula mu banka n'ozitwala mu URA emmotoka nedda mmanyago bw'olwawo okukikola nga Brian bw'okoze because bangamba n'essimu tozikwata ate nga transfer URA baagigana because of your ID yali teri clear Brian ID yo teyali clear URA n'ebigaana nga baagala ID eri clear omuntu akolera transfer nakubira essimu nga tozikwata transfer yo bw'eneegaana it will be your fault ekyo nkyogedde on a live broadcast transfer yo bw'eneegaana it will be your fault kwata ID ng'ogisayininzeko ogitwalira omuntu akolerako transfer tugenda myezi tugenda kumpi mu mwaka transfer yo gwagiremesezza okuyitamu because of an ID kwata ID gifotokopinge gisayininge kotekako enamba y'essimu twalira omuntu akolerako transfer bwe binaagaana togamba mbu ataate because senga wali okikozeeko ndoza mweyo week transfer yali eggwa tegeera ssebo it's your responsibility to make sure that the transfer of the car to your names is done tewali agenda kufaako broker tajja kufaako akuguzize emmotoka tajja kufaako because that's not their responsibility nziramu okuyita mu responsibility zo as a buyer your first responsibility is checking and ensuring that the goods are in good condition. Your second responsibility is verifying paperwork to make sure that paperwork checks out. Your third responsibility is paying for the car in full. Your last responsibility is paying for and doing transfer of the car to your names. Pose what your responsibility and you know kumanya when you buy a car you need to do service utandike service empya you start the car at zero when omanya nti emmotoka njiguze naye njitaddemu oil omupya ntaddemu hydraulic omupya ntaddeko brakes empya okitegeera nti emmotoka sigisuubira kuba because ojja kugula emmotoka oleme kola service engine ekube the next week kati engine bweneekuba the next week ogenda gambani. It's your responsibility that when you buy a car you make sure that you service it there and then kwolwo lwogiguze nabagamba apart from service and brakes drive the car for 3 months okujjako nga lwekiyinza ogigaana okutambula drive the car for 3 months okay olyoka otandika okulowooza musimanya ate ekubagana musimanya ate nyino gifuuyira bampa musimanya ate biki that's how it's supposed to be otherwise kyobulaba nti abantu bagula emmotoka ne batuuka ne zibatama kupapa simanyi oba muntegeera okay responsibilities of the buyers nzibagambye nazo nja kuddamu mbiyitemu the responsibilities of the car because the car is also involved in the transaction. What about other responsibilities like paying for insurance, driving license and other certificates? Those are responsibilities of a car owner, not of a car buyer. Bonomara okugigula nomara okukola bino byenkugambye kati awo ebirala gwamanyi because those are responsibilities that every person that owns a car should know. Okitegeera. Because I will tell you that if a car has paperwork that checks out, it will have third party that is still running. Because essaawa eno emmotoka etali mu logbook system empya eba tesobola kugula third party. Kitegeeza era paperwork bwaba checking out the car will not have third party. Okay? Katatepa buyer is not their responsibility to give you a driving permit. And I will tell you that most of the people that have helped buy cars nga tebalina driving permits, I always give them someone to drive them home. Baleme mukwatanga emmotoka yakagigula. Nina abantu benyambyeko okugula emmotoka nga tamanyi na mmotoka. Ne muwa omuntu n'amuvuga n'amutuusa. Okitegeera n'amutuusa ewuwe. But after the car gets to your place, nze mba nkumaze. Kati awo ng'otandika okuyiga emmotoka, ng'otandika okufuna pamiti, ng'otandika okukola biki byonna nga bw'obimanyi. Ontegeera. But there is a misconception that we normally have. Kwe kulowooza nti gwe olw'okuba emmotoka kuggwa empya, emmotoka mpya, it's not a new car simply because for you it's new. Ekintu kisobola okuba ekipya gy'oli naye nga si kipya. Nze kati ngenda kugula essimu empya gyendi naye genda kuba nkadde, because I'm going to buy an S10 that is old, that is used, nkadde naye nze gyendi egenda kuba mpya, egenda kuba ekola kyenjagala ekole, okitegeera. So those are the responsibilities of a car. The only responsibility that a car owes anyone is to fulfill the duty for which it has been serviced to fulfill. Emmotoka bw'ebanga togimaintaininga bulungi era egenda kuwa ekyo ky'otagimaintainingidde. Bw'otakola service, engine ejja kukuba. Bw'otagula battery, emmotoka tejja kukuba. Bw'obeera n'emipiira emikadde gijja kutuulanga buli kiseera. Emmotoka bw'eba n'endabirwamu ng'erimu olwatika abatrafiki bajja kukwata because gwe bw'otyo bw'osazeewo okubeera n'emmoloka yo. Ontegeera kye nkugamba, emmotoka ky'ogikola kyekola. Kati nze ndi mu S nvuga UAM Corolla, ndi mu kyalo balindira n'embuzi mu kkubo Kambalage, obalaba ndi mu kyalo eno babo ba Abraham, naye ndi muka S neeyagala. Emmotoka ky'ogikola kyekyo. The only responsibility the car owes you is to give you exactly what you maintain it for. Emmotoka bw'otagimaintaininga bulungi tejja nayo kuwa mulimu mulungi. Ekyo njagala mubeere nga mukimanyi. Mr. Arthur, when buying a car, is it a must that it must have insurance? The responsibility of insurance, kati waliwo ebintu ebimu by'oyinza okubendingamu. Osobola okujja n'ogula emmoloka y'omusajja nga yabadde amaze omwaka nga gyagivugira, tebasaba third party. You can buy a car nga Arthur abadde agivuga kuva wali wuwe paka mu katawuni mu Kastensen. Even if I don't have third party, no one will touch me. Okitegeera, kati ogenda ogigule nga teriko third party. The first thing you will do definitely is buy third party. Kubanga gyogenda ogivugira wali abatrafiki abajja okusaba third party. Okitegeera, kati waliwo ebintu ebimu by'osobola okubendinga, but ideally you should have third party. How long does it take to get driving permit if all submitted? I think it's a month. Minimum, it should be a month. Ennaku zino edda twagifunanga ne mu wiiki emu naye ebintu byayonooneka. Okitegeera. Yeah. So the only responsibility of a car is to give you exactly what you maintain it for. Kiringa mukazi waka. Omukazi bw'omulaga omukwano akuwa mukwano. Omukazi bw'omuboggoleranga n'omuvumanga n'okola biki n'omuyisanga bubi, she will give you exactly. She will reciprocate. Ontegeera, emmoloka eringa mukazi. Bw'oba oyagala ekkolera ebirungi gikolera ebirungi. Okitegeera, kati eyo nvuddeyo. What is the responsibility of a mechanic? This does not mean that a mechanic will do this, but it's the responsibility of a mechanic to make sure that the car is mechanically okay. It's the responsibility of a mechanic to make sure that the car is mechanically okay. Engine is good, gearbox is good, emmotoka esiba bulungi, okay? Emmotoka egenda kuba roadworthy. It's also the responsibility of a mechanic to calculate for you what the projected expenses on the car after you buy it will be. Okay? He will project the expenses when you buy a car. Zogenda okuteka because amazima gali nti teri mmotoka gy'ogulanga nkadde nga tolina ky'ogenda kukolako. Ekyo nkibagamba. Teriyo. At least ogiteekamu space n'ogiwanika. One of the reasons why I made sure this muzeeyi sees this parcel, because parcel bangambe teriko kyakola, amazima era agenza otutuukako nga teriko kyakola. Okitegeera nga alinga agenze mu bondi n'akola ki? N'agula emmoloka y'omu bondi ng'ate savings $1,010,000. That's why I made sure he sees this parcel. Because emitwalo 9 gino gye yabadde savings, yabadde agenda gissa mu primo wali okugiwanika, ogigulira emipiira. Okitegeera, kati why wouldn't you help someone buy a car nga talina kyagenda kukolako bw'aba alina millions 21? Okitegeera. So that's how I made that decision. Mechanic tekitegeeza nti ajja kikola, just the way The doctors are trained, they even swear oaths that they will make sure that their patients get treatment, the right treatment in time. They'll make sure that patients are okay. It doesn't mean they do it. Go to Mulago Hospital. It doesn't mean that they will do it, but they swear to do it. Police swears to protect and serve for the payment that they are given by government. Nayani yali agenze ku police station ya Uganda n'atagabayo nguzi. Okujja Kongo ino munene gomanyi buli lwogenda ku police station ya Uganda ojja kugaba engoze. And it's normal. I'm not complaining. It's okay. Enguzi tujja jigaba. Tetulina kya kikolera. Because bw'otagaba nguzi tebitambula. Okitegeera. So the fact that you know what the mechanic is supposed to do, that's why you need to be careful which mechanic checks a car for you. Okitegeera. Thank you so much Mwami Arthur, tusiima omulimu omulungi gw'otukolera. Amina, amina, amina. Pasco said at least you do service. Yes. Nze, I need a kapate for my Ipsam. I keep checking on it. Hey, by the way, Joseph, you know, take a security switch. Ketuita a secret button. Yeah. Ono gende wa makanika wange nzo ngamba nenjogera naye n'atakuseera. Batera katera mu mitwalo 5 nenzo ngamba nenjogera naye n'akateekeramu nayisi because oketaga emotoka yaffe buli nejjibba. Then we genda bakola leakage tomorrow, but make sure you check the oil level again. Kuba izo leakage bangambye olabye nga nyingi. Check the oil level. Obusiru bujja kutwala busente butono tebakuba. Yeah. It doesn't mean the mechanic will do the job. Kitegeeza naawe kati olina okuba nga olinamu ko ku bwongo obutonotono obumanya nti ekintu ekirungi kirina kuba bwe kiti. Bw'oba tosobola kutegeera wekka, take a friend when you're going to buy a car along with the mechanic. Have a guardian angel like Arthur. Okitegeera okuyambako. Otegeera kye nkugamba. And always have someone you can call. Omwebuuzeko why kino bwe kiti ne bwe kiti tebanziba. It doesn't have to be Arthur, by the way. It doesn't have to be Arthur. Okay? You made the kapate. Hata wampise mbadde nsoma every statement nkirowoozezza afterwards nengamba naye. That's how I ended up reading it now. But mutegeera responsibility ezo. When I finally pack, I'm going to go through these responsibilities. The responsibility of a friend. Now this is why you don't want to take very close friends of yours. But not what I'm going close. One thing I learned about friends is that our friends fear to annoy us. When I was in my early 20s, remember yesterday we were talking and we said that in your early 20s, normally you're emotional when you're making decisions. So in my early 20s, I used to make a lot of mistakes, business mistakes. So afterwards, when I got 10, I decided kangeleke wachali wange. He used to sleep in my house. Kangeleke mubuzi. The mistake nazokolanga ngatumuddewa. When namutuukako yangamba Arthur nali ekyokunyiza. So he saw me ngandaba ntomera n'asirika. N'agenda ne tutomera ffenna nga bwe bamuruka nga tugenda tutomera omuti atuula wano ku passenger side ne tugenda ne tutomera. Naye nga yali badde asobola okukyavoidinga, but he did not tell me because he didn't want to annoy me. That's what majority of our friends will do. So mu mikwano gyo bw'oba ogenda okugula emmoroka londayo omukwano oguli blunt ogusobola okugamba nti gwe you're making a mistake there. Don't do this. You need to get that honest friend. Even when you're going to buy a plot, you're going to buy a phone, have a friend that will be able to tell you the truth. You don't want to have to go with that friend that massages your ego. We all have that close friend that massages our ego. So the number one responsibility of that friend that you take when you're going to buy a car, even with that sun. Tuli mu kyalo naye enguudo zaffe embalagavu. Tulabye lubulako kaguga okukatama kokka naye nga it's smooth kati no luguudo lugenda ewange mu kyalo. Anyway, The number one responsibility of your friend, that person you go with, is to make sure that you don't lose the money you have. That's why if you take a hypocrite, ajana kufukulaba ngotomera ogule chimoroka ekivundu aseke. Okitegeera aseke. That's why normally if you have a girlfriend, go with a girlfriend. If you have a boyfriend, go with a boyfriend, because oyo omuntu wa munda kizibu nnyo kukulaba nga ogenda kutomera n'asirika. Okitegeera weetaaga ogende n'omuntu ow'omunda. I've seen so many people that now say even brothers and sisters asobola okuleka n'otomera. So kati bw'obeera n'owooluganda lwo ng'asobola okuleka otomera oyo togenda naye mwesonyiwe. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay? Now, my responsibility as a guardian angel is to make sure that you go with the decision. Ne bw'oba tojagala. Nga ne bw'oba toyagala kukola kintu. Because I see that it's the right thing to do, I make sure that I drum it in your head for you to do it. That's my responsibility. Because osobola okubanga gobadde oyagala kugula Benz. Naye nga nze Benz nkiraba tokisobola naye kugamba Benz wampadde anaago naali kulese n'ogula Benz eno tubiveeko mangu nneme kwonoona mafuta naye tugende tulabe emmoloka endala. Okitegeera kye nkugamba? That's my only job. My only job is to actually be better than a friend, to guide you, because I probably know more about what you're trying to buy than yourself. That's my only job. My only job is to avoid mistakes, to help you avoid mistakes. Let me get home and then I summarize. Ani alina ekibuuzo? Hi Charles. Ani alina ekibuuzo? Nkiddemu. Ani alina ekibuuzo? I want a question. I'm almost home. I just want to get home and I go through a summary of the responsibilities of all the people involved in a transaction. But if you have a question, you can give me. By the way, I'm not going to be live on Wednesday. I'm not going to be live on Thursday. I'm not going to be live on those days. They're going to be very busy for me. The same thing applies to next week, Wednesday and Thursday. They'll be very busy days. And then also the other week, Wednesday. So they're going to be very busy days. And if I miss another day after that, but we'll have our question Friday, we'll have our market Tuesday. We're back. Network was disturbing. Did you disturb mommy? Did you sleep? Go to bed now. Huh? You did what? You did what? Okay, let's go through the responsibilities that we have covered today. Responsibilities of the seller, number one, is making sure they have the goods and provide them for you. Portraying the goods to be in good condition. Having the right paperwork, or portraying paperwork to be in order. It doesn't really have to be in order, but they have to portray the paperwork to be in order. Providing you with transfer forms, okay? Receiving money and demanding for balance in case you did not pay full amount. The responsibility of a broker are only three. One, finding a buyer or seller. Two, closing a deal. And three, disappearing. Those are the three responsibilities of a broker. The responsibilities of you as a car buyer, one is checking and verifying that the goods are in good condition, which is the car under the circumstances. Two, verifying the paperwork and making sure it's in order. Okay. Three, paying for the car. And of course, paying for and doing the transfer. Teri agenda kusasulira transfer. Gwe tokwata milioni za 2 n'ozigulamu emmoloka oba milioni za 3 n'ogulamu emmoloka n'olowooza nti olw'okuba oli omuwadde milioni 4. Okay? Ogenda kukola ki? Agenda kusasulira ne transfer fees. Olina okubeera ne sente za transfer. Ate bw'oba ogula emmoloka nange sente beera nazo awo. bwe ziba nga nkugambye weetaaga emitwalo 5 tandika okugakuŋŋaanya nga tonnagula mmotoka bwe mba nkugambye zigenda ba mitwalo 2 beera nazo zisasula omuntu because nze bye sibikola naye waliwo ababikola and that's for them they do it okitegeera. And then of course the other responsibility you have is to service the car because emmotoka kyogiwa kyekuwa bw'ogikwata bulungi era ekukwata bulungi bw'ogikwata bubi era ekukwata bubi. The responsibility of a car is doing exactly what you maintain it for. Emmotoka bw'otagimaintaininga bulungi era tejja kukola bulungi. Bw'ogimaintaining emmotoka eringa mukazi. Show her love, she'll show you love. Show her hate, she'll show you hate. That's how it works. The responsibility of a mechanic is checking the car to make sure that it's in good condition. Okay? The responsibility of a friend that you take to help you select a car is to make sure you don't lose money. That's why you need to choose a trusted friend, someone that you trust with all your heart, someone that you trust with your life. Because ojagenda n'omukwano gwo naye nga ye abadde alinda w'obwira afuba okulaba ng'otomera yasinga n'okugira oyo Arthur byayogera tabimanyi naawe eno gy'oba ogula olyoka otomere naawe okiwulire. The responsibility of olyoka otomere naawe okiwulire. The responsibility of me as your guardian angels to make sure that the math checks out. Nze ndi muntu wa math okitegeera. Pastor is saying if you find the car is not in the names of the seller, what should you do? You find the person in whose names the car is. Make sure you get their number. Kati tukola verification batuweereza number from URA ne tukubira omuntu ali mu card ne tumugamba n'otukolera transfer motoka ogibanja otukoya transfer weetaaga ki before we pay. Okitala ffe ne tukitegeera era on that very day bw'aba omuntu agambye mujje mbafulumize transfer forms, we drive there in that very car n'atufulumiza transfer forms so that the transfer process starts. Nze guys sigula motoka ng'empapula tezivaamu okitegeera. Yes, so those are the responsibilities. Saagala odde mugenda gula motoka onyigira omuntu yenna olw'okuba takoze gwe ky'osuubira ky'alina kukola nga buli omu alina responsibility ye. Gwe as a buyer you need to know what is the right paperwork, what is a good car. Ne bw'oba ogenze ne makanika you need to know all those things. I see. What's that? What's that?
A car.
A car.
Yes, a car.
Good. Anyway guys, thank you very much for being part of this broadcast. Kansubire simaze budde bwemmwe mulina kye muyizeemu nange nyina kye njizeemu by the way. Stuart, Mr. Kafero, thank you for always reminding me. Paul Banaria, Pascal Joseph, Salmin, Martha, Joseph, Ruke, Grandma, Sarah Favor, Brian, Buchwe, Otto, Solo Extra. Solo nze mbadde nvaako mu gym ku weekend nkeera ku macha nenziruka bannange nawonye kati ama 100% okay. I did 15 kilometers running yesterday. I did 15 kilometers running today. Yesterday I was babysitting. I could not go to the gym, but today I've gone to the gym. I've worked out for 30 minutes. Ngenda nkomawo omanye omusujja gukuyiwa mbadde njiise nze nanga mpeddewo, but I've lifted a little and now I feel nenchanja gendako mu gym. Yeah, so thank you very much guys for being part of this broadcast. It really means a lot. I don't take it for granted. Thank you for always recommending me for business. Abampereza aba customer, aba tracker, aba alarm. Namwe abagamba abantu gende wa Arthur keberere. I will not disappoint you definitely. Yes, Stuart, you have to wait for a month to get a driving permit. Yes. Yeah, temuddamu kukola nsobi. Toddamu kulowooleza abantu nti bagenda kukolera bibatasobola kukolera. At responsibilities muzitegedde. I'll see you tomorrow at 7:15. Ciao.